Lifefinder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal, though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Welcome to the stream, everybody. I am your host today, Ziltoid, looking to get into the next matchup for today, which we have Winston, Churchill, Manatees versus ReGen Phoenix. Should be a interesting matchup as both teams are sitting in the 10th and 11th position. 6 victories so far. Map wins for ReGen Phoenix, 4 so far for Winston, Churchill, Manatees, with 10 games lost apiece. It's both teams looking to see if they can start climbing a bit further up the board and maybe make a case for getting into the playoffs here, as it currently is a little bit out of reach. As far as the standings concerned, the only victories we have for Winston, Churchill, Manatees are for forfeits, but I was informed earlier by Jackster today that they actually did win the set while they were actually in it. So they did earn those victories as well. So they're not victoryless based off it. And honestly, I think that's the same thing for ReGen Phoenix. I don't think that they just got the forfeit, because I'm pretty sure they won the victory originally. Before it got to where it was against probably both teams, Dive Hard and Almost Legends Ruby. But since then, they have not been able to close out a victory on a map. As they lost, Winston Churchill Manatees lost to RKB, MHS, Jailbait, Trump, and Beast Coast. But let's not worry about what they've lost to. I think ReGen Phoenix is not sitting much better, but they have taken a couple maps in their losses, one against Minion Miners and one's against RKB, which is a good 2 places to get some victories against some strong teams that are sitting in the upper echelon of the standings. So who knows, they might have an opportunity to get back into this and make a case for themselves in the future, but we will have to see how that all kind of turns out here. Just trying to see if I can find the heroes profile. ReGen Phoenix, Winston Churchill Manatees. Those are not trustworthy, so let's make sure we are only looking at Season 7 stats as previous seasons. Doesn't really get it across, I think, effectively. So yeah, 2 wins, 11 losses against 4 wins and 10 losses. And I did appropriately guess who is on what hero. Just nice. That doesn't happen to me too frequently. While we're at it, we might as well pop up the overview here. This is your map choice, and bam, ReGen Phoenix won the coin toss, but they did take map pick. We will be going to Volskaya. How we got there was bans on Tomb of the Spider Queen and Towers of Doom from them, as well as a ban from Braxis and Sky Temple from Winston Churchill Manatees. Just waiting for everyone to get in the lobby, which we all are here, and should be ready to get into the game momentarily. So what we can possibly see out of both these teams is Arrow, let's just look at their most played on Phoenix is Stukov, Kelthos, Jaina. There's roughly 24, 6, 8, 30, 32 heroes. played by ReGen Phoenix this season, and about 30 heroes. Not a whole lot of overlap between these two teams. Looks like we're getting into the draft, though, so let's not worry too much about what's going on there, as I ran out of time, as we are all ready to go. Oh yeah, I need to make sure that that is not the case. Alrighty, here we are, ready to see this through. Game number 1, Volskaya Foundry between Winston, Churchill, Manatees, and ReGen Phoenix. First ban is going to be Garrosh, so let's go take a look at what to expect out of that hero and why perhaps it was something that we removed from the pool. And that kind of makes sense. 11% pick rate, 6% ban rate, which puts popularity at 17% with a 67% win rate. That's pretty good. Definitely worth the ban in those situations. Allstad is going to be the next one out. Seeing him way more frequently these days. And maintaining a decent win rate. Not bad at all. Slightly lower pick rate, but if you know the enemy team plays it, removing it from the pool is a wise decision. Anna is going to be the follow-up ban there. I think we've seen these stats before, but let's bring them up again just so that we're all up to date and aware. 50% win rate with a 74% popularity rate. Higher ban rate than is pick rate. But seeing as the 50% is there, you can definitely argue that it is justified. Sylvan going to be the next one out. I imagine it is doing a better job overall here in win rates. 58% at a 40% popularity. So maybe not as common as you'd like to see it, but definitely still succeeding a majority of the time. More than half, anyways. Diablo is going to be the first number 1 pickup here for Winston, Churchill, Manatees. And let's take a look at that. Still relatively popular, but not really performing well. I mean, it's going to be Woj picking up the Diablo. Murder is going to pick up Kael'thas, and Area is going to take up Anduin. And that's going to be quickly responded to by Jackster on the Greymane. And K-Wolf on the Jaina. Kael'thas having pretty good statistics here in Div B East. Performing actually quite well throughout Div B as a whole. Anduin, I think, is still, while a strong hero and has a lot of great potential, has not exactly been executing on that potential as highly as we'd like to see. Greymane is going to be the next one I want to look at statistics-wise. And again, having a bit of a rough start after kind of popping back up in the meta. Raynor appears to be the pickup here for... And Arrow is going to pick up the Arthas. So Arthas is something he does like to play more consistently than not. Chen is still available, so we still might see that actually come out from Mudge. Though Alarat could definitely be an option. It is a hero he likes to play. Rogine on the Leoric. Cheekies on the Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza, a very niche pick, something that's not taken quite as frequently as like. Mudge is actually going to pick up the Johanna, so curious to see if we're going to see a role swap here, or no. That is exactly what I thought we were going to see. It is going to be Arrow. All right, we've got everybody set up appropriately. We're going to be getting into the game now. And so a little bit of hero exchanges there, just Arrow wanted to keep me on my toes. As usual. And here we are, getting into game number 1 on Volskaya boundary between these two teams, the 10th and 11th seed, respectfully. Looking to try to get in a few more victories there at the end of the season before it becomes too late to stack those up into a playoff position. But don't get anything wrong here. This season's placing, I feel like, with the exception of maybe a couple outliers, which just because they're not performing well doesn't mean they don't belong there. And this is a good example of both these teams are definitely B-level teams, but just the level of competition currently is so high that in all of the divisions that if you're, it's really hard to actually get these points. It's difficult to establish that lead in the playoffs, and it's really rough once you get behind to really earn those points back when there's so many other good teams looking to do the same. But we're going to start off here on the blue side. Let's bring up the graphic. Winston, Churchill, Manatees, K-Wolf on the Jaina, Cheekies TV on the Alex Straza, Jackster, 37 on the Greymane, Brogine playing the Leoric, and Woj, 93, 193? Yeah. On the Diablo. On the other side, we have ReGen Phoenix in the red, making the statement in the colors as well. Arrow is going to be on the Johanna, Mudge on the Arthas, Darabo on the Rainer, Murder on the Kael'thas, and Arya on the Anduin. Let's quickly pop up the talent tree. We're not going to try to leave that up here. We're going to get Devil's Due out of a Diablo as opposed to any type of spell damage reduction. I think it's a good talent. There's lots of arguments for it. I'm sure he was thinking it through on which way he preferred. And this just happened to be the one that he went with. What is with me? Every time I get up to casting, I just start yawning uncontrollably. 3 globes already for Murder there, and that's a really good start to the Kael'thas quest, making sure that you're getting up there and getting all of those globes. In fact, 3 globes to 1. Good start. They're doing a good job of making sure that they can't step up for them. Gonna see the exchange. Darpo steps up to get it, has to back out, but honestly, he got knocked back towards the team, but took basically no damage for it. Arrow's gonna pop up here and grab the remainder of this wave. Winston, Churchill, Manatees kind of manipulating that pretty well, making sure that they actually lost a bit of experience there on the top lane on the side of ReGen Phoenix. But with that said, camp is going to be picked up first here by ReGen Phoenix. We see Mudge saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to go all in on this Leoric as he hasn't scaled up yet, so my damage is better. And we're going to see the invade actually come out from ReGen Phoenix onto the camp. I think they were expecting people to be here, and they're going to be able to snipe this and walk away, although it is Murder that is in a bad spot, and that Diablo is definitely going to get, a nice knockback by Darabo. Make sure that it doesn't happen. Now, we do see that Leoric comes in and drops a nice, goddamn, whatever they call this ability, skeletal swing, to kind of slow them down and gets a 4-man hit on it, which was pretty nice. But in the end, was a successful invade by ReGen Phoenix. They did manage to get through here and grab what they needed to get, and that's going to work in their favor here going into the next objective. Winston, Churchill, Manatees are probably going to want to be looking at this thing, but 30 seconds already to the objective, and that's kind of, I feel like we're a little bit behind on soak on both sides here, as a lot of the time, by the time this objective is popping in, you generally want to be around the level 6 area and kind of burning into level 7, but both teams, I don't know, both teams seem to have been a little bit behind on either the camps or the lave clear or whatever the case is, so it's actually a bit of a slow move here, but I do like that ReGen Phoenix grabbed this camp during the objective popping up. They are going to get the healing item, And if they play this smartly, they're going to have a good way in getting control of this shrine, as they aren't going to be able to pick up. No, Greyman is going to full commit, put all of the pressure onto Johanna. Johanna's kind of just standing here taking the damage. There's going to be a dive in from Diablo. Greyman manages to get away. They do convert it and get the kill on Johanna. So that was a successful invade using the Dragon Queen to make sure that they get in there, get the kill, and get the healing item. So unfortunately, it is not going to be a 3-item thing, but I am going to point out that Dragon Queen is down, and that's actually a pretty good turn of events for ReGen Phoenix, as if they can get back in here with Johanna. This top camp is still pushing. It's actually doing pretty good. Greyman actually feeling like he needs to pop up there, but we need to see ReGen Phoenix move in on this. You don't want this to be converted to 99%, because even if you get the kill and force them off of this, they still have to win a second fight after that. And if they drop all of their items in the process, Darabo getting dove in by Diablo, he's going to go down, but they do actually secure the kill onto the Rainer, so things still looking pretty good for Winston Churchill Manatees in this fight, although Jaina is in a pretty bad spot. She's going to go down, and that's going to be the kill. But as I said before, this does mean that by the time they get near the 99%, Winston Churchill Manatees will have all of their abilities back up. And guess what? Neither team, all the heroes back up, and neither team has any items. So I do think that this still somewhat favors Winston Churchill Manatees. And I think the smart play here for ReGen Phoenix actually is just leave it. Back away. The first object just doesn't care. It's not a big deal. I know they're going to fight over this. I know they're going to pressure in, and they did grab a turret though, and that was actually pretty good of them, and they drop it right away just to get as much as they can. But a great dive in by Diablo is actually going to put a lot of pressure on. The root does convert into a kill, but the health bars on the side of ReGen Phoenix are really low, and mana is almost gone for Kael'thas. There goes the dive in from Jax. You're looking to see if we can get the kill onto Mudge, but they do actually go. But with that dive, it actually turns around. There was no more frontline, no more peel available. They do pick off the Kael'thas, but in the end, what I predicted as a potential loss on this objective here for ReGen Phoenix, they do secure it. And actually, because of those kills and everything else, they actually have taken a pretty substantial lead in the game. Taking that camp and grabbing those waves while everyone else was down really did set them ahead. And so they're going to remove the remainder of this front wall. This front wall already lost a tower and up, and that's the thing. The macro here is actually looking pretty good for the side of ReGen Phoenix. They seem to have a pretty good handle on what they want to accomplish here. And, I was wrong. I wasn't certain they were going to be able to take it back up. Maybe I was expecting Dragon Queen to be up a little bit sooner. But it is a really long cooldown, unless I'm counting it off in my head. I'm going to pop the talent tree so everybody can see what the Nat 10s are available here for ReGen Phoenix. I'm going to go with a lot of pretty standard stuff, with the exception of Falling Sword. So we're going to see Falling Sword into Light Bomb combo. We've been seeing this more and more frequently. And it's a nice form of initiation, especially onto low mobility backliners like Alex Straza and Jaina. And we see Darabo stepping up after a lot of combo damage comes out to get the kill onto Jaina. And more is going to come through and actually going to clean up that Diablo too as well. And now this mid-keep fort, is in a bit of trouble, although the last minion does go down. So I'd really like to see ReGen Phoenix back off a little bit here. They can eat a little bit of damage, but the defense is coming up. But they're going to clear up the fort and still peel away. Entomb was not popped or anything. They do get the Falling Sword into Light Bomb, but the timing was bad. So they actually dropped 3 heroics and did not get an initiation. One of those communication errors there definitely needs to be cleaned up in the future if they want the combo to work. Johanna has to be already planning on hitting that Falling Sword when the Light Bomb hits him, so that it actually has time to move over top of the enemy team. So he needs to call, I'm using Falling Sword. Light Bomb has to hit him. He has to proc it immediately as soon as it hits him, or is about to hit him. And then And then go from there. But you also want to be in range of things. Like, you can't be that too far away. That's the one argument you can make about Blessed Shield versus Falling Sword combos. You can get almost the same experience, I think, from a Falling Sword as you can from Blessed Shield. There's more damage that comes from Falling Sword, don't get me wrong. And with the level 20 upgrade, it's actually very strong. But you know, if you just use your, just run into the enemy team with the Johanna, with the Light Bomb on you, and then follow it up with a Blessed Shield, or vice versa. Yeah, you hit them all with a Blessed Shield, then get light bombed as you reposition that Light Bomb. You can get that combo 1-2 stun, and it can be very effective. We see a 5-man rotation here from Winston, Churchill, Manatees onto the bottom. Now, they're already playing ahead in the sense that, well, third objective is generally where you're going to start actually pressuring keeps. So if we just charge down this bottom lane and make them respond, we'll see what happens. But both teams are just going to... both teams are just going to push. 5-man push in the bottom lane, 4-man push in the top lane. Hyperion being dropped, see which one sieges faster, and both of them are hitting the keep roughly about the same time, so we're just going to get a keep exchange, it looks like. Arthur's trying his best to slow this down, but he is also threatening to die here. And, yeah, it looks like Alexstrasza feels like she needs to drop the Cleansing Flame to avoid taking any extra damage. And you know what? They're just going to walk in and say, hey, if we're just going to sit here and trade, we're faster. And Arthas just needs to stop the backs from happening, and it looks like that's going to be what his plan actually is here. Alexstrasza, the only one able to treat at the moment. Arthas just needs to pressure in, but the Entomb comes in, keeps him back. We're going to see if they actually want to just go for the core here still. Light Bomb into Falling Sword is definitely going to stealth things up, but they do get the kill onto Kael'thas, and that's not going to be the core call that we need right now. But if they disengage here with 1 death and 25% off the core, I would say that that's a generally net advantage here for ReGen Phoenix. Although this rotation coming... Man, you know what? If Leoric had rotated this way, that could have been devastating. But it's not like he had... he didn't have, like, Entomb available. So, unfortunately, the aggressive rotation wasn't really going to net him anything. So, I sort of understand his point on that one and why he didn't go for that aggressive play. Support camp is back up. They're going to check it, make sure that they're not there. It's going to start it right away. But ReGen Phoenix is going to sniff this out and realize that they have a 4v5 available. Arthas getting hit by the Ring of Frost, but Arthas does have what he needs. Falling Sword comes in. Light Bomb, I don't think, has been used yet. The pressure being put onto Leoric does drop him, and now it's going to be Diablo that falls. And Cleansing Flame doing its best to keep Jaina alive, but she's not going to be able to get out of the root, and that's going to be another kill there. Good follow-up route by Arthas, making sure that the kills come through. They're going to continue chasing this up, see if they can get the Protector. And remember, top keep is down 75% of the core. They're going to steal this camp and actually push this wave up. And I don't know, ReGen Phoenix might be posturing to end this game right here and now. Some really odd shot calling going on in this game, that's for sure. I mean, the one thing stalling this out is they do get this double push, and that's going to slow down their rotation to them, and 16s is going to help secure this, but there's still plenty of percentage left on this, and there's a huge 4 catapults pushing in. So all Winston, Churchill, and Manatees actually have to do is make this fight take absolutely forever. If they can stall this out very well, and here comes the Ring of Frost after the Entomb, looking to get the kills in there, but the sustain just too good. Those 4 catapults do definitely need to be cleared up. Arya, though, almost dead due to the and that's going to be the kills. But 5 catapults on the core in the bottom lane. This absolutely has to be responded to by ReGen Phoenix. They cannot ignore this, but they're going to just go down the lane and push in on the core. It's going to be a core race with the Protector, with death timers. 84%. Okay, so we do see the split. I'm curious about this choice here because the death timers are too low. Is the Protector going to be able to finish this game right here and now? Did Winston Churchill Manatees, in essence, cost themselves this game? And they're trying their best, and I don't think that they're going to be able to core this here. There goes Light Bomb, and here comes the Rainer. He's going to show up. Arya getting a lot of pressure. Arrow's still sitting in the background here, and they're probably going to finish this game. It's going to be killed, and that's going to be it. GG. What a weird game. It's all I have to say about it. What just happened? What was that game? I don't know, guys. That was all kinds of crazy sauce. All right, well, that's game number 1. Here's your statistics, if that really matters. It was the shot calling that made and broke that game for the most part. You know, I think the mistake that Winston Churchill Manatees actually made was that they went in for the all-in, and what they should have done is just went in for the stall. If they just sat up there and kept ReGen Phoenix from backing, that was 5 catapults on the core. If they stopped them from backing there, I think that wins the game. So it's definitely one of those things that you have to kind of wonder about. And how close Winston Churchill Manatees actually was to winning that matchup. I'm going to pop up the talents for everybody to take a look at. Wasn't minimizing the tree enough. I know. It's something I need to get a little bit more adept at. Anyways, let's update. We have the idea where we're going. But I think I'll need to be right back, as I think I have to run to the bathroom shortly. But yeah, we'll be going to Cursed Hollow. Once I get into the game, I'm just going to let them know that I am. Yeah, it was a crazy shot calling strategic game, that one. It was all about who plays what angle better. And honestly, Winston Churchill was this close to getting the victory. And I'll be right back, folks. Alrighty, folks, I am back. Let's get the show on the road, shall we? Alrighty. Sorry about the wait, guys. Just waiting for everyone to be ready to go. Ugh.
Shaw Blue Curve. Take control of your Wi-Fi.
I just want a spoiler-free evening.
Sorry about that. That was not supposed to happen. Game number 2, Cursed Hollow. Here we go. Oh, definitely. There's always some feeding when it comes to Arrow. But I think it was only the one time, maybe two. Ballstat and Diablo out again. Alex Draza is going to be the Ben this time around. Interesting pick. And Sylvanas is going to be the first pickup on Cursed Hollow. You can get decent camp value here. She's good at burning bosses and pushing with them outside of the objective. And that can be quite effective. The Haka, the Global, and Greymane re-established. Greymane to Haka, both decent on this map. Definitely like the choices. Alarak, so we are going to get the Mudge Alarak. Offlane Alarak, I assume. Johanna back where she belongs on that arrow. Abathur are going to be the ban out here. Quite curious, actually, at the Abathur stats. 13% popularity, but a decent win rate at 40%. So Rhaegar is going to be the healer of choice here. Good at macro, good at getting those camps, decent at rotations. Not a bad choice. Jaina back again. Good pairing with Greymane, as we saw in the last game. All around decent pickup. Lucio also gets the ban. I'm actually quite curious about the Lucio stats. And there we have it. We have Murder Plane Lunara and Arya on the Stukov, which was banned last time. And there's the fabled Stitches, who does not frequent out of his hole. But he is here today. Yeah, basically hasn't been played in Div B East at all. Period. And that's going to do it for you. Those are your drafts. Oops. Now, let's get into the match. And here we are in game number 2, looking for the equalizer. Winston, Churchill, Manatees in the blue. Jackster on the Greymane, K-Wolf 55 on the Jaina. Woj 193 on the Stitches, Brogene on the Dahaka, and Cheeky's TV playing the Rhaegar. On the other side, we have ReGen Phoenix looking for a 2-0 domination to help boost their stats in this division and maybe look for a playoff spot. We have Mudge on the Alarak, Darabo on the Sylvanas, Arrow playing Johanna, Arya on the Stukov, and Murder playing Lunara. Doesn't look like anyone is super interested in the opening handshake here, which is not a surprise. We're going to get the Show of Force build, perhaps, or at least the Telekinesis build here from Alarak, you are getting overwhelming affliction here at level 1. Low blow from Stukov, and hold your ground from Johanna. Everything else seems pretty standard. Patchwork creation, quite interesting. Silver Gray main contest in the top. Immediately splitting off to get those bruisers based off of the location of the tribute being on the upper half of the map. And business as usual, Greymane is going to pop over here and grab this. I mean, bruiser camps are going to be pretty slow with the Lunara. Looks like he's going to swap out the Sylvanas to either go push mid or go grab the bottom camp. And it looks like a mid rotation is what's coming out. And I like this. I think this is good. With Merc Queen, which I'm hoping is what we have here. And Shadow Dagger. You want to put that on the gate. Should be able to get some pressure here, but we do see the counter. That's going to be dead Sylvanas. As he wasn't able to outrange there. Alarak's going to clear this off. Stukov's going to go into the bottom lane. Alarak camp clear isn't the fastest, but it's not terrible. But unfortunately, that mid camp wasn't able to get any value as we saw a good defense come out into the mid lane. And with that kind of Stukov exchange into the bottom, Alarak onto this camp, they didn't really have anyone there to help sustain Sylvanas through it all. So, slightly unfortunate turn of events. They are going to get positioning advantage here on the side of Winston, Churchill, Manatees. Arrow's going to pop in here and delay using his Iron Skin. But now that's burned down, his own self-sustain, and here comes the global. It's going to help apply pressure. Arrow does get it back up again, as I think Hold Your Ground was procced. But it might not be enough. It looks like 120, 50, he is dead. That's definitely going to be a kill, but it's going to exchange out for stitches. And on the by and by, the overall difference in damage here still slightly better for ReGen Phoenix, although they are taking a bit each time they step up here. And Alarak's not really a frontliner. He's kind of more of just a burst assassin. Now, Darabo is in very bad spot. Looks like K-Wolf is getting poked out here too as well with that kill. They should have control of this. Nice pull in by Mudge just to make sure that they maybe get the kill onto the Greymane, but unfortunately that is not going to be the case. They are super low. They get a nice tongue onto Arya. Stukov in a lot of trouble. In fact, the extra damage has come through, but they do get the kill onto Rhaegar anyways when he went in for the bite. Now Sylvanas is back up. She's going to be back in very shortly here. Arrow is back, so we're back to a 4v4. But the real problem here is there's no healers left for Winston, Churchill, Manatees, so they have to split off and concede this. Bottom camp got a good portion of the front wall gone. And that is the value you're looking for with that camp, doing exactly what it needs to do. We're going to see them cycle this camp again, though, as it is up and available during the next objective, and that's going to go into the top lane. And they don't have a global to deal with it, so we'll have to see kind of how they position this. Front wall completely gone, though, as ReGen Phoenix wanted to put a little bit of pressure there, but there is a slight experience lead right now, given the global and the extra kill for Winston, Churchill, Manatee. So Things looking better for them in this game than the last. Alak getting stuck into a stun combo and aggressed by Greymane. But we do see Stitches in turn getting there's a huge 3-man silence. All of that damage coming out. We do have Splintered Spear as well, which means she's spreading the damage, and that's rough for Rhaegar to deal with. He's got good AoE heals, but they're kind of on long cooldowns and a bit mana costly, so they're going to be able to pick up the second tribute, and that's still a good situation for ReGen Phoenix. Now, can this rotation come up quick enough to save these front towers? I'm going to say no, but Sylvanas just got here, and using her trait, she should be able to stop this from taking a tower or two, but unfortunately, it might not be the case. Dahaka comes in to try to stop this from happening, as they'd like to get both towers, which they do actually get. So, unfortunately, the trait from Ursa Queen does fall off in time for them to be able to pick off both towers there, and that's good. That's good for them. Dahaka did use Dig to come up here, though, and that's fortunate, as the next objective is now available. We're going to see the pressure start going to come in here, and look at that pull in on Dahaka. He gets out of position. Blessed Shield comes in onto Jaina to stall out the point. Here comes a Water Elemental, but a great, again, pull into silence, burst combo onto Greymane, puts him into a bad position. Rhaegar not anywhere nearby to really save them from that, and that's going to be the next kill. Yeah, my thing doesn't look as pretty because I don't play on high settings, typically speaking, so I haven't changed the graphics screen. I do apologize. It's something I've been considering doing. There's the pull in, plus another combo, plus Blessed Shield, and that's going to be a kill onto Greymane, and this is looking like a keep's going to happen here. Really good combos coming up from ReGen Phoenix in all of these situations to get these kills. Good initiation stuns into pulls, into silences, and that's been causing lots of problems. We see a Ancestral coming out onto Stitches as he was doing his best to push in, and that is a keep gone. Bottom fort is gone as well from that camp. They're going to steal this camp away and let that push in and be a nuisance to deal with. Only fort standing on the side of Winston, Churchill, Manatees is here in the middle. We see another Blessed Shield dropping in here, and that's going to be a kill on Greymane again. He just keeps getting way isolated here with these kind of pull-in combos, and I think he was just positionally in a bad spot, generally speaking. Lunara is going to be able to secure the kill onto K-Wolf. That's going to be another kill, and that's a 4 for 0. And this mid-keep fort is going to go down. We have Giants on the core with the catapult, doing an absolute monstrous amount of damage to this core. And boss is available. Top lane boss has a no keep. They have talent tiers. Seems to me like the no-brainer play. And that is exactly the play that they're going to go for. Sylvanas Lunara is going to do quite a bit here to get this out. That's a lot of PvE damage. We are going to see the rotation coming out from Winston Churchill Manatees as they do sniff this out. Telekinesis pushing them away. Hook trying to counter that out, and now Dahaka is too far forward, gets pulled into a first combo stun silence, and now that's a Greymane looking to exchange out because he knows he's in big trouble. And that's another kill for ReGen Phoenix. They get another kill too as well, so that's 3 kills with the boss pushing down top lane with no keep. Things are definitely looking pretty scary here, especially if they get the Stitches kill. That's going to put it another 30-second cooldown timer. With the 68% core, I'm thinking that this is probably going to be it. And there she is, folks. A swift 2-0 victory for ReGen Phoenix. Getting the better half of all of the exchanges in both maps. GG. Hell, based on how fast this was, I might even be able to find a second cast to do. There are your statistics. Interviews up to them. Has nothing to do with me, folks. Although I might actually skip it. My cast is done really fast. I'm going to reach out to Mongoose and see if they want me to do their cast. Yeah, I'm going to skip the interview, folks, as I would like to maybe just move into a second cast for you guys tonight. Unemployed Gaming versus ReGen Blue. Oh, never mind. Looks like Arrow's going to grab it. Maybe there's another one I can pick up really quick. But I think that's it. No, unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing that. So, yeah, I can probably do an interview. So, let's get on that instead.
Powering on. Mic on.
The way it goes, folks. The way it goes. Let's pop over to interview. Put that down until I get the right one. Alrighty. Hello, Arrow.
Oh, hi, Ziltoid.
So I snuck in here. I was trying to find out if I could snag that ReGen Blue cast, but it looks like you did. So good on for you. So we'll make this quick. So that
All right, sounds good.
You can get to that cast. Actually, do you want a co-caster?
You know what? Why don't we do that?
Okay. I'll jump onto your channel here after I close mine down, and we'll just host you. So just get your stuff set up while we talk about some things. So congratulations on the 2-0. You guys have been long awaiting to get another victory on the board, having unfortunately come up short in every matchup since basically Dive Hard and ALR. How's it feel?
You know what? It feels fantastic. We had a strategy going into it because we decided that we were outplaying ourselves. We said, you know what? We are winning all of these games. There are very few of these games that we ultimately, lost aside from the fact of making, one poor decision. And so, I just went back to the team and I said, listen, guys, we just have to win earlier. If we win earlier, we win the game and we get the points. Right now we're losing because we're making one poor decision. So let's just not do that.
So game number 1 was kind of an interesting matchup because it seemed to be just kind of like, more than anything about the strategies and the shot calls, the keep pushes from both sides, in the end, sort of favoring you guys. How did you kind of feel about that, opening up that second win condition? Did you feel like as soon as that keep went down, that you guys had a pretty solid position? And how mindful were you of that bottom lane with the 5 camps when you guys were still trying to complete the objective in the upper lane? Because I think that was the crux of where the game turned on its head, more or less.
Yeah, we saw them going bottom lane and said, this is a perfect opportunity for us to do exactly what we've been wanting to do. And so, we pushed in the top lane. We saw that they were still down there and said, well, let's just keep going then. I mean, there's no reason for us to run back and try to stall them out. I mean, that's what Arthas is for. That's why we took him. And so then when we were able to get the keep, I said, guys, we keep going. Like, they don't have the keep down yet. Yeah, Arthas can slow them down. Let's see what we can get out of this. And then, I think we got a death in there from the return of the group, but it ultimately worked out.
I was actually kind of surprised by Winston, Churchill, Manatees, because with that 5-man catapults, I felt like if they had actually just came up there and instead of hard committing to a fight, just tried to not lose it hard and stall out the backs, those 5 or 6 catapults that were stacking up in the bottom lane could very well have ended the game.
Yeah, certainly could have. And, we were mindful of them possibly looking at a back door while we were going for the protector. And unfortunately for us, we sent both of our DPS back to clean it up, so it was a lot closer than it necessarily should have been. But we worked it out.
Yep, I mean, it did go in your guys' favor. It was like I said, it was a closer game than might have first, and it ended really quickly as we got to see. And let's wrap this up here. So I was just going to say, game number 2. Lunara Sylvanas, you guys definitely really mastered the macro on that map. It wasn't even your map choice for the most part, and seemed to have really worked out in your favor. Is Cursed Hollow a place that you guys like to play?
I mean, again, kind of the same idea. We knew that Cursed Hollow was a place that they've played. Last week they got beat by, I think, Beast Coast by Trump in 8 minutes and 6 seconds, something like that. So I knew that we just needed to stay on top of the timing of the camps, be mindful of positioning, and we saw in game 1 the team fights that we could really take them in team fights. And so we kind of threw caution to the wind and said, you know what, let's build a team fight comp. Let's have the Sylvanas to allow us to get that push on structures and win the game early.
Well, let's wrap it up there because we got something to do here. Shout outs before we go.
So shout out to my team, ReGen Phoenix. It's been a long time since I've, in fact, I didn't even get to do the first interview, so I guess I've never been able to shout them out. This is a team that kind of came together at the beginning of the season, just a little bit before. So, harkening back to last season, very much appreciate everybody on the team. Also to the ReGen organization as a whole, just a fantastic group of people. Obviously the NGS leadership is wonderful. Ziltoid, one of my best buds. Appreciate you picking up the cast kind of last minute for us. And all of our friends out in Twitchland. I know I saw Farron and Murda and Nick out there. So looking forward to seeing some of you guys at BlizzCon and next game.
Alrighty. Thanks so much. We'll catch you right away.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, that's going to be it for me. I got to get out of here as I want to go co-cast the second game. So just follow us over onto the Arrows channel. I will host it so that it's all fine and dandy. You shouldn't have to go anywhere except for hitting the raid button when it pops up. If you guys haven't already, please do follow. And of course, if you're feeling extra generous, subs, biddies, and of course the tip jar at the bottom is much appreciated. It helps support the stream and my family here. And all of that, is good stuff for us. I appreciate everything and that NGS brings to us, all the fun games we get to watch. Thank you for being in the chat. And shout out to ReGen, because you guys rock. You know, I'm basically a ReGen boy, just not officially. So I'll cover it. I'll shout out both Repsychic and Murda RG in the ReGen organization, because they bring so much to NGS, and we appreciate it. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful night, and we'll catch you later.